Welcome to Unseen Sports TV. People, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. Unseen Sports is live today, and today we'll, give you guys some information on the JPL season coming up on Sunday. So the JPL is going to start Sunday, people. Yeah, we'll give you some information on that. But my topic today is a licensed coach, Ricky Hill, down there at Mount Pleasant. Sorry, people, not Mount Pleasant, sorry, Montego Bay United. How could I make that mistake? Montego Bay United. Ricky Hill is at Montego Bay United. He has an A license. He has a lot of experience in different clubs in England. Former, England player. Coach a lot of top clubs in the USL, in England also. And he is down by Montego Bay. So the JPL has a lot of top coach also, differently from Ricky Hill. You have Wally Downs down by Mount Pleasant. You have Mr. Speed by Cavaliers. You have Paul Teacut Davis by Arnett Gardens. You have Donovan Ducky down at Vere, former known as Jamalco. You have Andrew Price down by Humble Lion. You have the KC coach down by Arbor View. You have Anthony Patrick Mullines FC. A lot of top coaches in the league, people. A lot of top coaches. And, you have Lenny Hyde, Lenny TJ Hyde, his style of football is, passing tiki-taka type of football. He's done by Portmore United. So, Ricky Hill wants to win JPL. I want to give you some information on what is going down in Mobay, people. Mobay United. All right. So, Ricky Hill believes that he has a unique set of skills that can help to lift the club and players. He's a former England midfielder who has managed clubs such as Tampa Bay Rowdies, Luton Town, San Juan, Joblete in Trinidad. Was officially presented to the public during a press conference at the club's Westbow based in Montego Bay, Westbow Park. However, even though his priority is to raise the standard of the club, professional players, he said there are also plans for an elaborate youth program. So he has plans to develop the youth program down there. Ricky Hill, start his tenure down there, wants to, leave a legacy on his work. However, even though his priority is to raise the standard of the club professional, he said he has plans for the youth program. I am absolutely delighted, of course, to be here. It is my first time having my length of time in Montego Bay, and I feel so comfortable here. I am pleasantly surprised with the facility here. It has so much growth that can be gained from it, he noted. I'm trying to help with our development going on and my expertise. I believe is semi-unique in Jamaica. So let us give you guys his qualification. He's an A license, UEFA A license holder, a 3-time coach of the year, and a multiple championship winner in the Caribbean and in the United States. And I am an under-19 academy coach, so I have a unique skill set, which I believe will just not be valued to the players, but to all coaches in the league. So he said that his set of unique skills can help, other coaches to develop their craft and be better, which is true. His level of qualification, schools, learning about football, he can impart some of those knowledges to other coaches in Jamaica who, really they just started the coaching school. So it's very important for Ricky Hill to, help other coaches and stuff like that in many departments. But he said that his main aim is to improve the young professional that we have here, from the 20-year-old to 28-year-olds. According to Hill, he has put together more than 30 years of experiences that he hopes to pass on to benefit of not just Montego Bay United, but the country. He wants to help Jamaica on a whole, on a holistic way. I want to pass some of that knowledge to the players and coaches so that they can improve Jamaica football going forward, he stated. While nothing that he plans to implement a recreational program for youth age 6 to 18 and from that establish under 13, under 15 and under 17 elite program. However, his most immediate task is to get the team to a competitive level or to win the JPL this season. He has already done a few sessions with the team and is well aware of the inexperience. So he identified that there's a problem in Montego Bay United. They are unprofessional and inexperienced. So he's going to work on that. Expectation for Ricky Hill. Nevertheless, he knows there will be high expectation, despite the shortcoming. But he is confident that the system they will put in place will lead to success. 5 years ago, we won the league, but a lot has happened in 5 years. Expectation is high. Spectators, but the expectation there has to be realistic. A number of these players have never played Premier League before, so don't believe they are going to hit the ground running from the first game without adjusting. So he's, giving you guys reasons. That is true. Players need to adjust first before you can get them to really perform to their best of their ability. That's good. They will be playing against present and former international player, former overseas player who are coming back with a wealth of knowledge and great physical stature. So it would be wrong to put that amount of pressure on these boys, he commented. Despite that, he says the team is not fearful of the task and despite his own inexperience regarding the standard of the league. He'll say his philosophy is an attacking one. So people, you can expect that Ricky Hill, Montego Bay is coming with an attacking type of play, a lot of attacking patterns, combination going forward, penetration, patience, all of those things in the JPL is going to come from Montego Bay United. People, when you join the live, please to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, it's free. Click that button. Click that button. Right. Leave your comments in the comment section. Our JPL League will be soon to commence. Sunday. I think, though, that the games will be played at the UAE Horace Burrell Center of Excellence by the artificial field. They're trying to get approval for Mount Pleasant Field done by Jack Sall. So let's see how that goes. We should hear the news soon and stuff like that. So the chairman of Montego Bay, Arville Powell, Arville Powell take over back Montego Bay and he's there now. Once he's there, he wants the best for his club. He seeks the best coaches locally and overseas to, impart the knowledge to the youngsters to develop the club into a better, professional football statue. And I like that what Arville Powell is doing. He's the man for the job down there. He said he's decided to take the chance on Hill after his name was banded in the local media as Theodore Whitmore's replacement for the senior men's team job. And in research, he liked that he learned. He liked what he learned. He said the aim was to also attract corporate sponsorship. It was discussed that he was coming for Whitmore's job, but when we found that was not so, and that his association with the JFF was about the development of youngsters, we found that it fit right into where Mobe United want to go. So we made it happen, Powell said. Big up to Powell, man of his word, man to do the work. I'm happy to say this. The JPL looks exciting. The JPL look exciting, people. Ricky Hill, coming with his knowledge, he is going to do. Let us put up the comment. See, up my boss, up my boss. You out here, bro. Yeah, man. Let me say so. This hour, a bad hour, though unseen. Couple people work, try 4 p.m. during the weeks until the days. Ah, that's true, that's true, that's true. Yeah, that's true. People join still. People join. So yes, people, the JPL supposed to start on Sunday. Matches will be played, I think, by the UE, Earthborough artificial turf. That's where. Also, people, tomorrow will be the coaching school will kick off tomorrow in terms of the D license, the JFF D license. That's the youth coaching course that will start. Is starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. St. Catherine and I think two other parishes it will start in. I'm gonna give you those two other parishes in a few. Just give me a second to find that information. Hold on. Yes, so St. Catherine, St. James, and Portland, those two parishes, the coaching league license, the JFF league license will commence tomorrow, 8 p.m. Big up to all of the coaches will get through, all of the upcoming coaches will get through, to do the course. And I hope you guys pass. Put in the work in the classes, study and practice hard, research, and you shall pass the test. All right. This is just only the beginning for a better, football landscape in Jamaica. And next, so people, I hope you guys tune into the JPL. It's going to be, very exciting. Last night there was a live on I am sure sports, talking about some structure, some things that clubs must do, some things that you know what is going to happen. The JPL marketing company that is led by the CEO of Proven. Um, is trying to get the package out as far as possible to a worldwide, but they're not going to give it out free. They want people to pay for it. So they pay to see, you understand me, the matches and stuff like that. People remember it's going to be on Sports Max, Sports Maxine TV, so you can download the app wherever you are in Jamaica and in USA and stuff like that. Remember, the match will be posted on YouTube delayed, so if you don't catch it in the day, you can also catch it in whenever you come home. All right, people, leave your comments while you join the live. People, just leave your comments. We're talking about the JPL and the top coaches that in the JPL so far. We have two A licensed coaches in the JPL now, and we have a couple of CONCACAF B licensed coaches. So we have two UEFA A licensed coaches in Jamaica, running, one at Mount Pleasant and one at Montego Bay United. So something tells me that Ricky Hill is going to be the under 20 coach for Jamaica. Something tells me Ricky Hill is going to be the under 20 coach of Jamaica. Am I right? I think so. I think he's out and about watching these youngsters playing, also in the schoolboy league, also looking on the well, Okay. I know that Price left Harborview and he is at, I know that, Paul Maxwell, you have to come to that, because we don't have the information there. We don't have the information there. Those information, I don't know why the club's not giving it out. Oh. Marcel Gale. Marcel Gale is the under 20 coach. Yeah, man. Paul Maxwell, they want to join the live. Send you the answer in the chat. They want to join the live so we can talk about it. Or you're not free. Marcel Gale. So people hear it here on Unseen Sports. Marcel Gale is the under 20 head coach. Looking forward for great things. I always believe that Marcel Gale. Yeah, man, come on, 5 minutes. I'm gonna send you the link into WhatsApp. Hold on, Paul Maxwell. Paul, I'm sending it to you, so check your WhatsApp. Come and give us some information on the transfer and stuff like that. Some players to watch out for. All right, and give some information on the under 20 also. I'll send it to you so you can jump on. Send it to you. Yes, people, I'm glad that Marcel Gale is yeah, he learns a lot from Neverbell. Neverbell don't really want the national team or anything because I think he's afraid of flying. I don't know how true that is, but Marcel Gale type of football. Whenever you watch George's play or Waterhouse play, they have this type of attacking play that they pass the ball a lot, they move the ball quickly and stuff like that, and that's what we want to see. And they're attacking. He plays an attacking game. He wants to see his attackers flourish, and that is what fans want to see. The leader is coming, people. The leader is coming on soon. Going to come and give us some information on the under 20. So everybody's looking forward to the under 20 because that's the future of Reggae Boys. The build up to. Yes, sir, Maxwell, hearing me?
Yeah, man, hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, big up. Thanks for joining. You say you only have 5 minutes?
Yeah, well, we'll see how it go. Can't promise more than 5.
All right.
But
So
like the program where you're starting off, you base a bill, man. But with the under 20, what Ricky Hill, let me just, since I mentioned that, Ricky Hill, the JFF from just before COVID, he basically was the president announced it, that he's going to be the scout that's going to scout the youth talent, meaning from under 15. You understand?
Okay.
So that was always on the book. It's just that the COVID messed up that plan so far, but I don't think that it's something that's sidelined.
Okay.
But the various national youth coaches have already been appointed. Like the under 20, Marcel Gale, that's known. They even have a short list of players, 2003 born players, already done up.
Okay.
Yeah, man. This was done up before Manning Cup, by the way.
Before Manning Cup?
Yep.
So I asked Mr. Speed last night about chances of the players in the Manning Cup and the Dakar Cup. The schoolboy football are not all if they have a chance to be in the under 20. He said that the coach is looking, and scouts are looking on them also. So what are their chances to you, Paul Maxwell?
Okay. If these players don't try to get themselves connected to a Premier League team. It's going to be rather thin because most of them, the league is going to finish in another week or 2 weeks, you know.
Right.
And some of them already have finished playing already.
Right.
So what's going to happen in the meantime? Because the JFF has already learned about what happened in the past, picking a team of pure schoolboys and then going away and being trashed, because our pure schoolboys and college players, and just get it right, the college league in the USA, the only difference with it and Manning Cup is that it's at a higher level, so to speak, but it finishes in about the same period as Manning Cup. So basically, you're looking at players that basically, when most tournaments would start, you're looking at players that wouldn't have played for December, January, February, because sometimes, you know, the various qualifications somewhere around March, near April. So you're talking about players that would have been out for 3-4 months or more. Because if it's a player that was in a team that is a good player, but his team wasn't good, sometimes the player gets knocked out from the start of October.
Okay.
Shamar Nicholson, good thing I tell. Because a lot of people have this thing about that Shamar Nicholson never played Manning Cup. He played Manning Cup, but Trench Town never. Him always get knocked out early.
Oh, get knocked out early.
Always. He has always played. It's only 1 year of eligibility he didn't play. 1 year alone.
But Paul, the information on the coach though, it was like, you know, a certain amount of people know about it, because, you know, I don't hear any of the YouTubers saying it. Like about his first year that Marcel Gale will be the head coach, the under 20.
It's known.
I think this is the first, you know, YouTube channel to announce that. Yeah.
Well, so it's known in circles. I don't think it's known officially, but it is known in circles.
So what's your thought on Marcel Gale really coaching the under 20 team? What you're looking for?
Look here. How the JFF is going, you know, is they are going the way of having their qualified coaches in charge of the various teams. And he's one of those coaches that, you know, did very well in when they had the A license coach, you know. So he has done very well.
The A license or the B license?
Sorry, the CONCACAF.
B license.
It was B? Well, whichever one it was. B. Did very well. So he's a select few, because what they have been doing is selecting from that, like Meron Garden, to be part of the national program.
Right.
So, and we know that he is also in the youth club situation. He's also in the youth football situation. So he's an ideal person. You understand? He has a lot of experience. He's still a young coach. And somebody that I think is the best move, I think, that he could have gotten.
CC, Marcel Gale coach with Neville Bell at Georges, and also the head coach of Waterhouse, the Firehouse team. Yeah. So he's going to be the under 20 coach. Well, for me though, Paul, I'm happy that, you know, his style of football is very attractive, and I would love to see him impart his knowledge onto the boys and see what they can do out there in the field and make it pleasing to the eyes. The past couple of years, we're really not playing that type of football that really can put us somewhere in the youth program. So I'm happy that Marcel get a chance, and I'm optimistic and waiting on what, you know, he can do and what the team can do under his tutorship, leadership.
A lot of people forget, you know, that Marcel coming from Norman Manley high school days, you know, as a coach. So he's been around a number of senior coaches.
So he was with Coley. He was working with Coley too?
No. He had left by that time. He left and went to St. Andrews. Right?
Yes.
Coley got the job there when midway Alric Clark had left and went to, I think it was Calabar, and then he was promoted. And he did and I think actually Norman Manley lost a lot of the key players that year, and he did very well with the players that were left, because I think when the coach left, he took a number of players with him, and that's what brought Coley to prominence, especially to JC. That I think he reached very far in the competition with a very young side.
I think JC took a lot of those players to when Coley moved.
That's part of the thing. Part
of the transfer. So you have any information on players, transfers, big transfers, any and the amount of money the club spent to buy them?
Clubs never, okay, what I can tell you, clubs never give out that info, but what I can say is that I can just give you a basic idea, most players that are transferred, right, if they're coming from lower level clubs, or these are players that's under the age of 18, right. Generally it's not more than $45,000 that are played for the ones that are under 18, because these are amateur players. Right. So even in the case of, say, I can put this out, if somebody wanted to grab a player like what's my guy by JC there?
Duncan.
Not Duncan.
Or
Duncan, or even Zimenez.
Yeah.
It's almost the same price they'd play.
40.
So they are, right. It's bargain. So that's why a lot of clubs now, like one I'm associated with, try to get the players young, right? Because you don't have to spend as much as once. You have to pay for players that might be 28 and they're having a contract and you're spending exorbitant amount of money, and the player has no future after that. Makes no sense.
No sense. No sense of business.
No sense of business. Unless you have a club chairman with very deep pockets, who the sole idea is to probably try to win the league, which doesn't pay. So, that's another issue.
Or maybe that player just come for a year to move to a better club.
What? The senior player?
Yeah. So sometimes they come back to move, like they come back and play a season and move to a better club.
Yeah, no, generally, sometimes, they will have those players that come back from abroad. What happens, a lot of people don't know that USL teams, their contract is basically for a year.
Right.
You understand? It's year to year, but they can sign it to a multi-year, but you can opt out. It's to be renewed. It's something that has to be renewed. They actually come to an end at each year, but they can, option to renew can be written into it. So normally you have players like, say, Nicky Daly that had a multi-year, but it's each year it comes to an end. So they could actually depart at some stage. So the USL, it doesn't give much stability like the MLS. MLS has straight, 2-3 years that you have stability like any other club abroad. USL really doesn't offer a lot of stability. However, in comparison to like the MLS, USL teams, it's actually more profitable for local teams to actually make transfers to the USL. Some people don't even know that.
Yeah, right. So, what do you think about the enthusiasm with the JPL now? A lot of top coaches. The Dookie with the best, one of the best defensive coach in Jamaica. Ricky Hill says that he has some unique skills that he wants to impart on Montego Bay, and he's an attacking coach. You're bridging there, Rudolph Speed, winning the championship last year.
From England.
Huh?
Wally Downs from England.
We soon reach Wally Downs, man. We have to talk about the one to win first. You have to give him props.
Okay.
You have to talk about Speed and win. So Wally Downs with the UEFA A license, Ricky Hill with the same qualification and a lot of experience. What's your thought on the league? What do you think the league will be this year?
Okay, there's going to be a difference this year because it's gradually going back to where it was 2 years ago with a multi-round. You're going to have two sets, we're going to have two rounds of qualification. But one of the things that we have to look at this year also, is that there's no relegation either.
Right.
Which is quite significant. Right. So that basically means, that this year technically is the last year that some teams that are out there that have not revitalized and brought in young talent for them to expose them without having the fear of dropping out of the league.
Right. Give them the experience.
Right. After this year, those teams that were probably shown up last year, I won't call any names, but the legs of the players, once a player is going to, you have a team centered around players that are 31, 32, 33, 34, seriously, you're going to be running into problems. And having youths in the team and sitting on the bench, not going to help you. If you don't, this is when you take the risk, because if you're finishing, if like last year, you know, I don't really want to call a particular team, but last year, you had a team that basically finished way down, and they had a very aging squad. I would be expecting for this year, that team to be the one that has one of the youngest cohorts than anybody else, because you lost already with the aging squad. Right?
Okay,
it had to do with, as far as I'm concerned, preparation. You understand? Once, if you look at it, you know, here in Jamaica, like it or not, we have to look forward to what is going to develop our football. By playing 33, 34-year-olds at that stage, unless it's a couple of them that are going to be there, you need to have something that's going to keep the league going and bring the talent up. You understand?
Right.
You know, I'm not saying pushing something that my club does or even Harborview does, but it makes basic fiscal financial sense. You understand? To do it.
Right.
But as I said, this is the last year of no relegation. So what I expect again is that we'll see a lot of free-flowing football, right? One of the things, a number of clubs and even players, I've seen them put it up that, oh, last year they didn't play because of they didn't want to play on the turf or this or that. What happened is that a lot of players had gone overseas to play in the usual Bush League in Bronx or whatever. So by the time the thing started, you know, it didn't make sense. So what we're going to be seeing now is how many of them can get back into the teams that had brought in younger players. Because I know for a fact that like an Arnett Gardens, they have revitalized and refreshed quite a bit. So we're going to be seeing, I think we're going to be seeing some good football this season here. And for me, I'm looking forward for even what Marcel Gale the talent he can find for the Jamaica under 20. So, you know, that's one of the things I want to see what happens. And see how many of the young players from this year's Man in the Costa Cup schoolboy football season. I want to see some of them transitioning into the senior setup so we can know how good they really are. Because there were some players that people are touting, oh, this youngster is good enough for the team to Peru. But as soon as they come up against a stronger
opponent
team, they're struggling.
Struggle.
Sometimes have to play against adults for them to see how really good their potential is.
Right. So for me though, I am watching out for this JPL season. You know, one of the things I'm looking at is the qualification of the coaches. The coaches went and went to school, you know, get the necessary education and that they can impart on the players. Somebody sent a message, Richard from England. How imperative is the push to get JPL up the ranks among the leading CONCACAF leagues?
JPL is rated about number 8 in the CONCACAF leagues. A lot of people don't even realize it. It's above a lot of other leagues.
Right.
It's one higher.
I think it's the best in the Caribbean.
What's that? In CONCACAF?
I'm just, you know, saying the best in the Caribbean, you know, country.
Yeah, one of the best.
One of the best. Which league is better better than the Premier, the JPL? In the Caribbean.
Let's see. I think Costa Rica is ahead of us.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'm just going right off the top of my head. Okay. I know that we are number 8, roughly around there. But I wouldn't be able to tell you because I wasn't prepared for that one there right now. But I know we are within that region. You know?
I think though the league will. I think whenever the powers that be really construct the tier 2 and the tier 3 system, then we will pass a lot of leagues. Meaning, teams drop out and teams promoted. So that's when I think the league will really get that big boots. And they construct that tier 2 and tier 3 system. That's one of the questions I want to ask you about. How the tier 2 and the tier 3
Well, look here.
organize.
I don't know if a lot of people aren't aware. The reason why we don't have a tier 2 now is because you have a lot of well, all of the various parishes did not agree on it. So that's why it was
Okay.
because there are a number of changes that were made by the JFF. There's one that all of the teams have to have a certain amount of young players in their squad, under 21.
Yes.
That's in
Yeah.
there. And there are some other things that are there. There was, however, the thing that they were going to have a straight lower league. So that one would be the feeder, because what happens time and time memorial is that a team comes up and goes right back down. So they wanted to have like the A League that we had years ago as qualification to reach up,
Right.
instead of just a one-off playoff over a couple of weeks. It really don't prepare a team to go up. You
Right.
understand? And what has happened, I think, CONCACAF has designated that, clubs have to have certain basic things in place to be looked on as a professional, club. That's one of the reasons why Wadada ran into problems the other day. They didn't have certain basic things like a bank account.
To operate as a professional club.
Right, there are some basic things that you have to have now to be seen as within the guidelines of being a professional club, right? So the next step, though, but the problem with this is that some parishes are not in agreement, because I don't know if they see it as that it might be a issue for them being qualifying and more rural teams, going ahead of them. So I don't know if I'm letting certain things out of the bag, because things it might help is the rural teams who generally have to do a lot more work, because if you look at it, they have a lot more traveling than, say, the teams from Kasafa,
Right.
so to speak, when they're doing their qualification and that sort of thing. So for me, I think it would be very good if the JFF puts its foot down and instills that. That is a must. The other thing that will also happen, this is going to probably happen out of the COVID though. We're going to see a lot of clubs going into extinction. We're not going to see them again, because there are a lot of club owners and people who basically have moved on, and it's going to be hard to restart some of these clubs, going in, because, you have players that have gone into other things, just like what was happening in the Premier League. And so far, we don't see a firm date as yet on when parish football would start, because Premier League is just starting now.
But parish football, how that is going to operate? Because you're gonna have a tier two system where clubs are going to be from different parishes. So how the parish is going to run their program, or you get promoted to the.
I don't know that the tier 2, that's what I'm saying. As far as I know, I don't know if JFF is going to finally be able to push that through. But up to 2 years ago, they couldn't.
Yeah.
So if they can, it's a simple thing. It's just basically, well, that's not going to be a problem, to be honest. Yeah, because how are you going to promote the teams from the various parishes to play in this second tier league? Because it didn't have any football. There are ways for it to be done, because you can use past results, that sort of thing. It can be done. It's not impossible. But it would have a lot of problems, but it can be done, because there are basic rules, just like how the rules were there for when UA dropped out. Each particular team would be the ones in contention to go up. So the rules are there. FIFA has the rules there. So these aren't things that the JFF would be making up. So there is a way to select the teams. So it's not impossible. But at this stage, I don't know because with the Premier League just starting now, and I don't get the idea from what I'm seeing that we might say parish football until who knows, earliest maybe March, but it has to go on because, well, actually it does not have to go on this year. I'm just realizing something because there's no promotion or demotion this
Right.
year. It really doesn't make a difference.
Right.
The only difference it would make though is that if they have it this year, they can set up a tier 2 the following year because they would have had winners for the various parishes that they can put into this tier 2 and then
Right.
move from there.
Right.
Right.
So it
Because following year 2023, there is going to be the bottom 2 teams are going to be demoted. No demotion this year. So it
so
makes sense for that time.
so based on the interview that was last night on I Am Sure Sports, Mr. Speed said that they are going to be a tier 2 system. They are going to be a tier 2 system, and it's approved by CONCACAF and FIFA. Yeah, that system will work, and it's worked in a lot of different countries in Iceland and stuff like those places. So I am for it. I don't know why the other parishes are not don't want to agree to it. I am for it because it will, in terms of marketing, it will allow other persons who want to push money in the league from different parishes. For example, if I have a club, if there are 3 clubs in Kingston, and I said I own a company named LNU and catering, right? I can't just sponsor one club. I have to sponsor all 3. If I sponsor one, I may lose revenue because the other clubs may. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to use that catering company. You understand me? So if there's one club in a parish, that club can garner a lot of funds, a lot of revenue. You understand me? So I'm for it. I want, he said that they want 14 teams in the tier 2. And yeah, so, maybe one club from Kingston and 2 clubs from Kingston and St. Andrew in the tier 2, and the others from each parishes. So I would love to see that tier 2, and how they will get sponsor to run the league, who will responsible for it, which marketing team is the same JPL marketing team, or how it will commence.
Well, look here. To be honest, how I would like to see a tier 2, and it can make sense, The only thing is, a lot of times people talk about the way the money and the cost of the schoolboy players, why you don't see a number of them moving into the senior teams, simply because a lot of them, it's not that they don't go for training, it's that the Premier League teams don't select them. So these
That's true.
youngsters go and they get through, some of the few that get through. The clubs don't play them. And when they do play them, they play them when the league almost finished. I give them some token minutes. And it really don't help the youngsters' development. And after a while, some of these youngsters, they just drop out. So unless there are some big superstars, a number of them do drop out. Because if you look at it, every year, just do the maths according to how many players there are, about, say, 20 odd, near 30 odd registered for each. Well, 30 odd registered for each man in the Costa Cup team, right? And let's suppose at least 10, 15 of these guys leave every year. You know how many players are out there looking for either scholarship or something else? And it's just a small amount get scholarships. And then now the other amount that you might want to say, well, go into your nation's top league. They don't reach in there because you can actually count, the amount of players, right, that are played schoolboy football this year that are actually in the various clubs. You can count them. It's
Yeah.
not a huge deal, and which is poor as far as I see.
Paul,
Because, yeah.
and I'm cutting you. I think you should go and get that player from Stets, that boy name. What's his name again? He scored that wonder goal. That boy is a gem. Get him. Yeah, man. There's a question on the stream. How do you identify like-for-like quality in terms of strictly player talent? Can a Zimenez be compared to a Kyle Walker-Peters or a similar player in a higher rated league?
Okay, look here. Let me tell you something now. A lot of times, this was somebody some cataract. Those I that know him, know Mr. Ohini Blake, right? He a lot of times comes and the statement was made some time back. I think Mr. Speed made it, and a number of people have said it, that at a certain age group we can compete with players abroad quite well, and I have seen it myself personally. I've seen it playing against MLS academy teams. I've seen it playing against La Liga teams. I've seen it playing against Mexican teams. I've seen it, all of them, Europe, English EPL academy teams. And I can tell you, all of these teams, I've seen Jamaican teams beat them at the age group level. And some of them not just minor beating, I mean thrashing them.
Thrashing.
Okay? Thrashing them, right? The difference is, and this, by the way, sometimes people say up to age 15. No, they do this up to age 17. The difference is in Jamaica here, after age 17, not 15 like some people try to make it, because I know that I've been with a team that has been a La Liga academy, okay? And I've seen it, and I'm saying it wasn't even close, okay?
Also, the Phoenix team that went to England and really performed.
As an example, they have gone up and they have done very, very well. Mount Pleasant has gone and has done very well. You know, also they have gone to the CONCACAF under 14, and they have been the first local team to go as far as they did. And they have done it by even thrashing teams that are from MLS academy teams. So this is something, is not. Sometimes people might make it look that I'm speaking about Cavalier. I can speak about what I've seen personally, but I also know of the success that teams like a Mount Pleasant, a Phoenix Academy have done. And these are basically all local grown players. You understand? Right. So whatever success a Leon Bailey has, people might say, oh, he came out of Jamaica quite early. Not that early. He basically spent a total combined, I think if it's 2 years combined total, that's what he probably spent outside the island. People don't even remember. He came back. He was actually enrolled in JC, you know. How many people don't even know that? He was enrolled in JC for a period, and both of them. Some people don't even know that because they don't follow all of the parts of the career of the youngsters. Right? He was enrolled in KC. He left, went overseas, and then when he had to come back, he was enrolled at JC. And the reason why they did not play Manning Cup was because they couldn't. They were supposed to have played. But that's a little secret that some people don't even mention. They were supposed to. They did. Mr. Butler did try to get them, but because of the age that they came back, they were over 15. And because of that, they didn't have any subs. So that's the reason. So they
would have to sit out and stuff.
Right. So that didn't make any sense. Okay. As going back to the question, though, Jimenez has played in the Premier League and he has done well. Okay? So like it or not, Jimenez moving into another league somewhere else. Because look here, when you have a youngster that is 16 years old, you know, doing well against adults in a league like the Premier League, he's a special player. I can tell you that. Don't matter what you want to say. Okay? He is a special.
He's a special player, yes.
Yeah.
He is a special player.
Friends. Right? That's why sometimes it's not every player that you see at Manning Cup or the Costa Cup level you're going to put in with the adults and they're going to do well. Some of them are going to struggle because some of them is your physical presence that makes them stand out from the younger boys.
Right.
So but when they go up with the big men with the same physical presence, they look ordinary. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things you have to look at when you're evaluating a player, your technical ability, their work rate, and the understanding of the game. When these players go abroad and they are quite young and they get the additional coaching at this young age, it helps them develop even faster. But when you go, say in your 20s, like a Tariq McGee, he will of course mention that and tell you that one of the biggest problems was that staying in Jamaica so long, playing a Manning Cup, it hurt his game. Because he acquired some bad habits that, like it or not, you know, when you're doing certain things, you know, you're going to go back. It takes a lot of work to get certain things that are ingrained in you. muscle memory, it is very, very hard. Not just muscle memory, but just the basic guts that you normally, how you play. You understand? It comes back. So if you're developed a certain way, it's going to be there. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of people say that, oh, the schoolboy is the place where players learn. No, it's part of the place. It's part of it. Once after they finish the schoolboy season, they have to go and play in a club to get their understanding, at least once it's, and with a good coach also. Because if you go into a club and you're just going to be playing games, it's not going to develop you either. And if that club can also get you overseas to play and play against similar players, because what I can say, okay, there's a player, name is missing me right now, but he is an England international. He played against one of the youngsters I know, Dwayne Busy Atkinson. And when another Jamaican player went to the club where this youngster is now, when in Ireland, the youngster asked about him when he heard, because he said that of all the players that he played against from youth level, even up to senior, that youngster gave him the most problem. So it's there. These youngsters, when they play these international tournaments, that's your best measuring stick to see where your player is. However, if you keep your player here locally too long, it's going to be like bread. It has a limited shelf life. After a while, it's going to become stale. Right?
Yeah. So our question, to what extent is the leader a moniker indication of Mr. Maxwell JFF potential leadership qualities? Richard, send a question, man.
Look here. Okay, let me tell you how the leader, and I took it on. That came about when my team went to Europe the first time, right? And I never forget this. Mr. Speed won't like the story, you know. But everybody, I think we went to Norway first. Yeah, we went to Norway first. And after, when we were leaving Norway, the person that hosted us, because we went there for a camp, they didn't know who was who, but they thought I was the person in charge, right? And Mr. Speed was my assistant. Okay. You know, basically, that's just how I am. So I remember I still have the plaque at home from the team in Norway that they presented me. And I said, no, I'm not the person in charge. It's really, and I said, no. You are the person in charge, right? Then when we went to Sweden and we met a lot of Jamaicans, and, you know, they saw the basic way I operated and so on. And because basically, let me tell you, I am a manager and a scout, right? But okay. I also help to put together the program that is followed at Cavalier Youth Success over the years, from ever since. Okay. But anyway, so when we went to Sweden that second time, the first time, a lady there basically saw exactly how I operate, because we went, the youngsters had an issue with the food and I made arrangements, and we after I think the second match, those guys had jerk chicken and everything. I had my red stripe beer, you know, everything was there in Sweden, you know, and everybody, I remember the lady, she said, oh, and she was going through everybody and she said, she called the players' names and thing, and then when she came on me, she said, oh, the leader, that's the leader, all I want a leader, in our little Swedish Jamaican accent, you know, and it just stuck. So I don't really have, for me, my interests just basically goes in seeing youth football do well, because if it wasn't youth football or football and a whole, I would have gotten involved in politics, you know. So I like giving back. I like giving back and making a difference in life.
Which party? You know, that's it.
I was approached by two, actually. I was approached by two. Okay, I remember both of them. Actually, no, three. But what changed my mind was when somebody that approached me got shot on the pulpit at St. Richard's Church. And I said, no, I don't think this one is for me. Never forget it. That was many, many years ago. The guy got shot and killed on the pulpit at St. Richard's Church. I said, I never forget it. I said, boy, I don't think I'm going to go that way. You know?
Persons first. Hold on, the person's just joining. I'm going to go through your comments. Just give us a second. And remember to hit the like button. It's free to hit the like button. And if you're new, subscribe. Yeah, if you're new, subscribe. Ted, the link to join the live is in the comment section. You can scroll through and find it. Come on and come to ask some question, man, and state your pointers if you're free. Come on, Ted. Another bright coach there in St. Catherine is going to go places. People, Teddy Hines or Andre Hines. The next question was Unseen and Mr. Maxwell. What are your thoughts on exactly what role vloggers can or should play regarding Jamaica football? Supporters, agitators, both are neither.
New frontier. You understand? I don't know how many of you old enough to remember Star Trek when they tell you about this is the new frontier. Vloggers, YouTube has made, I won't want to say that it has made print media and the electronic media obsolete, but by another 4 years, I'm going to tell you, people are going to go to vloggers for the information first. Although the vloggers do tend to, although they get their little information through SUS or whatever, they hear, because those things do happen. But what I notice, like they also wait for confirmation from the regular media and then they can go with it. You understand? You see, so stories are
people, Andre Hines, Ted is on the stream. Welcome, Ted, people. Ted, you're there.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I won't be long in. I just have a question and I want to post it before I go because I have some class I have to teach.
Okay.
Now, so my question is, one of our biggest problems in Jamaica that I've seen over the years is that everywhere we go, we try to replicate what we see people do. And we fail to understand that physically, mentally, economically, Jamaica is not the same like like what is in Portugal, what is in Belgium, what is in all these other countries. But yet we try to implicate those systems in Jamaica and expect the same result. Rather than we try to look what they are doing, think about what we have, and create our own system. Every time I hear a coach come on and they start to speak, they talk about what they see others do and how they're going to use it here. Not what they see others do and what they're going to try to create based on that to fit our own style of play. Jamaica is known for two things, physical and speed. But yet we don't play like that. We play football so slow, it's atrocious. So I'm saying, my question to you is that when are we going to stop this trying to replicate what people do and create our own? That is what I set out to do for my career. To create, not to replicate. Make a difference based on what we have. Because we'll never develop if we don't get out of that mindset. What do you think about?
You want to go first, Hansi?
Well, yeah. I agree. I agree to an extent. I think we tend to try to be like England. We tend to try to be like Brazil and stuff. And when you look at our natural ability as Jamaicans, we have speed, power, strength, right? But yet still we try to incorporate the English type of football where our athletes in track and field are running past them easily and powering them down with strength. I think the problem is though, Ted, is the knowledge that the coaches have to teach the technical stuff. That football is more technical than track and field, and I think that is where we blunder. And I think that is the biggest problem why we can't really be a world beater. We try to emulate people, and next thing too, we try to develop from the top instead of develop from the grassroots level, and that is one of the biggest problems.
Okay, let me give you my perspective. Jamaica here, right? There's anything you're going to do, most times it's invented somewhere else, right? And we can improve on it. Remember, sometime the whole track and field development was done in the United States. So we sent our people away, you know, to go to college, and we lost a lot of through attrition. We lost most of our better talent just was by the wayside. Right? After a while, we got our coaches up to a certain standard, because I remember when the J3 started working at it and standard. Once they did that, after a while, the next step, I remember personally when I saw this thing come across my desk as the observer of this proposal that we're making for this maximum velocity and power track and field club. And I said, this didn't make sense at the time. This was a long time before I saw Papa Oil, you know. And I said, it never made any sense, because I said, okay, that can't work with it. Well, lo and behold, we made a step, and right now the amount of local track and field clubs that they have shown that we can develop our guys here instead of sending them away NCAA scholarship. Success. It doesn't look good, but it actually gives us quite a base to choose from. I say this to show you that back in the days, long time ago, the best thing a youngster could hope for after he left school was to get a football scholarship. That's it. There's nothing else. It's just the ones that move people classes, them good or whatever. You basically in the leagues. You know, but that changed after a while when the 98 campaign came, and then now people saw that there was hope that he could have gone overseas. And we had a plethora of players went into England. However, one of the things, since there's a recent upsurging interest since Leon Bailey, right? But the thing is, the types of players that they want, they look at Jamaicans as fast players. If you notice, one of the things that Cavalier has, a number of players that we have left Cavalier. I have to speak from Cavalier. Alex Marshall, Kaim Paris, Mickey Daly, forwards and wingers. And we heard this from scouts that came here, and they said, boy, they want fast wingers because they don't trust the central midfielders. When last have you seen a central midfielder getting that contract? You understand? They want the players that can basically not in the spine of the team, but they want to put us on the flanks where they can use us to make the crosses, whatever, and up front. You understand? But once it is to play in a system to create and to drive the engine of a team, that is one of the reasons why we don't have any good CDMs, because the CDM position is a position that a learned position you have to be able to think with your right stuff. You understand? So, to be honest, one of the things that we need to do, we can't say, don't look at what is happening abroad, because what is happening now is that you have a lot of small academies. You have a lot more of the Premier League teams bringing in the youngsters straight from Manning Cup, the Costa Cup into their fold, and this is helping us.
I'm not saying I'm not saying we're not supposed to look at what is going on abroad. I'm saying we should stop trying to replicate it 100%. No, when you look at most of the greatest coaches, we talk about the Klopp and the all of those coaches. They do not replicate what Cruyff did. They look at their own system that is unique to them. That is why Pep can go to any team and get them to play a type of football, because he created his own system from what Cruyff did that fit his own technique. And all I'm trying to say is that when we go abroad and we see these systems, start bringing back the entire team, come here and expecting that we're going to get the same result. Let us try to create. This lack of creativity goes from the top, and I'm saying it from the very top right down to the very bottom. Our management structure around most of our big teams are not creative, and coach is not creative, and you see it in the players. Or 90% of the Premier League games I'm watch, no football is played in the middle of the park, or rugby playing there. gunman war.
Rugby.
Who can hit each other the hardest. There is no football played there. All football is played on the flank. So that is why I'm saying that we don't look at what we have and try to create something. We lacking in that area. And when I look at players who go overseas and play, most of the players who go overseas and play in a certain leagues, the MLS lower division and Swedish lower division and all both lower division, they're not better than Jamaica Premier League. It's just that the money is better. It's the economical value. When I search Head and Rose to find those teams and play and watch the games, I see under 16 look better. But yet the money is better, so they will leave to play. So it's not the quality make them go there. And the quality and none at all. It's the money.
True, I agree.
So Jamaica is not that bad as most people make it seem. It's just that we lack creativity. And we don't just lack it on the field. Creativity starts off the field. 90% of Jamaican Premier League players lack professionalism. I don't think they even know what the word means. 90% of them lack it. They don't even know what it means.
It's not just the local Premier League players. What happens is that when they go overseas, right, and then they get into clubs, a lot of these players come with the same bad attitude, right? Or the same, I don't know. Let me tell you, local Premier League doesn't pay that great, right? So some of these players, they leave with the same idea. They're going overseas to make some money, right? And then though, when they do get money and they're doing fairly well off, I'm not really seeing many of them giving back to their local clubs. I'm not really seeing that. Plus, you will see some of these same players sticking up the JFF and saying, boy, we need more money to represent Jamaica and so on. When you look at international wise, it doesn't happen. You understand? So professionalism is not just it's a state of mind. That is why when you're growing up, and that's what I wanted to put the academy that you learn certain basic things. Academies don't just mean that you go and learn to play football, It means you learn your basic decorum, your basic reaching to class on time, reaching to training on time. It's certain basic things. Because the other day you had the national training, and you had guys reaching there late.
True.
So it's ridiculous. You understand? Yeah. So look here, I'll tell you something. At this stage, the whole Jamaican mindset, right? Because I'm going to have to talk it here now, I'm waiting to see when the Paul Hall squad is named, because I already hear something. So I'm waiting to see. I already see one person has priorities in Russia, even though he has one match on the 28th and then no match until probably the end of February. But he has to give priority to his club. So I won't say anything too much on that. I'll wait to see how many other people have these priorities. So, and that's another aspect of professionalism. So when people go out and say things like Michael Antonio, not professional and stuff, guys, look what they say. I think what grandma they say, when you point one finger forward, look at the next. What is it? 3 that point back at you.
Yes.
Right? So I'm waiting to see that. Professionalism is a mindset that a lot of Jamaican players just don't have.
But Sir Maxwell, though, you just, a club just buy you, and you want to really cement your spot there. You want to sort out certain stuff. So I think that is one of the issues. And if you really look at, playing, I think, some of the best option for him is to try to settle in his club. For me, that's my thought on it.
Okay, my thought on it. Look here. I think I have a little bit of knowledge on the international football thing, But we just look at what I know. Players just looking to actually transfer in. That's an issue but once they have transferred in, so hold on. So tell me something now. All of these other players now, when they have just gotten their recent transfer, I think oh my gosh, after Jamal Lowe had gotten his transfer into it and he was ready to come and play, I didn't think that was an issue. Leon Bailey made his transfer and he was available once called on. Look here, man. You see, the thing is, when I don't see it, right, as an issue, because you have to look at it, right? I can't you make an excuse, read that. You understand? Because when you needed the Jamaica team, to get the caps and get your thing pushed up there to show how well you do at international football, you're available. You understand? You're available through no matter what. Because by playing international football against teams like USA and all of that, right? It helps you when your agent has to shop for you overseas. I've talked and tell people how it goes, A lot of people don't realize that when they come and play for Jamaica, it's not out of the goodness of their heart why they want to play, but it helps them personally when they need to get that international transfer.
Yeah,
right? The transfer, to be honest, them can't say, well, we really don't need you again for now until maybe a bigger transfer might be on the market. And if the World Cup is coming up and we qualify, you're going to see how many players that basically beating on the door and say, oh, yeah, they want, because it makes a difference again.
It helps them in terms of getting a transfer, bigger money.
A bigger money again. Yes, it makes a difference. Or
other people don't know that.
Some cases, it's just that a player needs international football. They just want to play some international. They play day in, day out against certain players, but they want to play international football. It makes a difference. You understand?
International football, I get to go up against the best.
The best, you want to do that. That's what. That's why a lot of players that you see come from England. When you see them come, to be honest, they want to probably play for England. They don't get through that option, but they still have the yearning for international football. So,
for example, Sir Paul, when Kemar Lawrence go up against Messi, and
that's the ultimate that you want. You want these things. You're a human being. You're going to want to see these things because you're not out there playing against. You're playing in the MLS. You're playing in whatever. You want to get to go out there and play. You understand?
Right.
So it's part of things, and it helps if you are young enough and needing another transfer. It helps you.
The next question here, sir. Let's be frank, gents. What advice would you give the aspiring JPL players wanting to represent Jamaica at the national level?
Hard work. Hard work. Look here. And when I mean hard work, I mean hard work, because let me tell you something. I had put up something that Omar Daly had mentioned about getting into the Jamaica team. Well, going overseas it was about still, but getting into the national team was part of it. And he mentioned that a lot of times you're going to, a lot of players, they go to training and everything, but they don't do any work on their own. They go to training early morning, 6:30, whatever, they finish, and that's it. They don't realize that at this stage here, they're going to have to do the running and the stands by themselves. They're going to have to make sure they're doing the shots. They have to invest in themselves. A lot of players now in Jamaica, if you check them, all of them have the latest iPhone and that sort of thing, But when it comes to say, if you have a ball a yard and so on, for them, they have none. You understand? Because they don't invest back in themselves, certain things. They might ask coach, why coach, ball, or this. Come on, you need to invest in yourself. When you can buy that, how much iPhone now? Go the iPhone.
About 13 plus, almost 500,000.
Okay, and you're going to have people out there with that. And then even if you don't buy it, they might get it from some relative abroad. Hey, what I would tell you to say, look here, sell a phone there, buy a lesser phone, and invest in yourself, get a ball or whatever and so on. Because too many players are unprofessional. You understand? Right. They're looking at, say, well, okay, they're going into a club, they have their hands out for every single thing. They expect the coach, the management to find everything, and they're not investing in themselves. You understand? So
that's why those players doesn't reach anywhere.
Invest in themselves and put in the work. When you invest in yourself and put in the work, you will see it.
Right. All right. So answer that question. Next one. Do every club, Boss Thomas says that, do every club in the JPL have an under 20 team, and is there under 20 competition to help the development?
Okay. Unfortunately, there are almost very few under 20 competitions that were way before the pandemic came. Like even Kasafa doesn't have under 20. That they ruled that out some time back, saying that their reason for doing it was that by the time a youngster reaches 18, they should be looking to play in the top league, which is right. However, the problem is that it's not many players do get to do that. So outside of a Cavalier and a Harborview that had very young squads, if you look at it, let's suppose between Harborview and Cavalier, you had say 36 players, right? Okay. When you go to some other teams, you're going to struggle to find 3 players that are under 20 in their squad. You understand? So you're not seeing that. Sometimes I've seen some Premier League clubs that have come out and said that, oh, we have some youngsters. And they talk about youngsters, 23, 24. These are not youngsters. Those are not youngsters anymore. Those are not young players. Those are players. Look here. The team that Cavalier won with the other day, right? The youngsters in there that were basically, almost 13 years at the club. They played Premier League, some of them for almost 5 years, some of them. And these guys are 22 going 23. You understand? So these are not youngsters at that age.
What age Messi Marsh started the club?
Messi Marsh started at 12. And he played this, by the way, Messi Marsh took Cavalier back into the Premier League when he was 16. He took them and he scored a goal that carried Cavalier back. And then when Cavalier got relegated, another 16-year-old by the name of Kaim Paris scored a goal again to take us back. So
you know that Messi Marsh is a school classmate at Kansas Spring Primary.
Look here. I won't bother even tell you half of the things about Messi Marsh. Messi Marsh basically grew up on my front lawn here in Avondale. Okay? So nobody can tell you about Messi Marsh about me here. So just, but what I can say though, really under 20, is that more of the teams need to develop their under 20 cohort, so to speak. They need to get more of these guys in there. But unfortunately, because there's no under 20 competition, you need to get them in the Premier League. Just get them into your squad.
But Sir Paul, not cutting him. I think they should have a national under 20 or national youth league, whether under 17 or under 20, a national where it's televised just like schoolboy football. And yeah, because what I'm thinking, you may have players that are late bloomers. So the JPL is playing, right? Now you select your squad for the JPL, but remember you can always carry up a young player to play. So for example, you're playing, but this player 3 months down in the under 17 or under 20 league to start to spark the league, right? And then you give him a call up to the Premier League team, and he continues to spark the Premier League team. You understand me? I think it's important. Without that league, he wouldn't get the chance to really become that type of player. You understand what I'm saying, Paul?
Yeah, look here, Digicel Elite League that they had some time back, that was one of the ideas that it was supposed to have done. But my problem with that was that it was parish-centered, which it helped, to be honest, for some of the parish teams, it helped. But for Kasafa and maybe St. Catherine, I don't think it made sense there, because you could have easily have had the top club teams from there being involved against some of the parish teams, because some parish teams, won't have that amount of good under 20 teams to make up in a club. But they say St. Thomas then, Percy and St. Mary, right? You can get some of your elite youngsters into a team like that. You understand? And it can give them a good exposure. But to be honest, I think the JFF, right, because they are a governing body, they need to mandate, right? This is something they need to mandate now, right? That every parish, right, you're supposed to have an under 13 competition, right?
Right.
You're supposed to have, listen now, an under 17 competition and an under 20. So that way, you know, let me show you what I see in that now, you know. The better players, right, will transition through all of these here now, you know, because a lot of players, youth players, when you look at them, especially coming from the rural areas, and the national coaches have said this, that sometimes we get these players coming and them can't juggle a ball properly, them don't have the basics, because most rural clubs do not have youth teams. They don't have no youth competitions. So because of that, sometimes now you have players, the only thing that is there to help them is a little Da Costa Cup, right?
True.
Which Da Costa Cup will start training them by X, and then now some of the clubs get knocked out very early. So they start training in, say, July, by August. In August, they're looking to make competition in September. By October, early October, they're out. So how this youngster going to develop with basically probably 6 weeks playing and about 2 months otherwise? He has to get himself connected to a senior team. And now it's only the very, 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 very good players actually probably get a chance in that senior team. And they do develop, you know, because those are normally players that you see go on to make some national team or so on. They have a lot of other faults.
Question though, Paul Maxwell, is there leagues that like how you guys went to a different country, the Caymans and stuff, to play leagues, like the under 13 league I know in Jamaica. The parishes play their under 13, then the top club from that parish went to an all-island competition where Mount Pleasant, Wings Alliance, Harborview, all those clubs play, and Mount Pleasant won it and represent Jamaica in the CONCACAF Scotiabank League. So I'm wondering if that is not, is there a league for the under 17, the under 20, so that, you know, they can,
okay,
they can do a structure like that?
Let me tell you. No. CONCACAF has an Scotiabank under 14 league, which helps to develop the players at that stage. And these are strictly the top clubs from the various parishes are playing a league. It's divided up into the various sectors, Cornwall, Middlesex, etc. Right? And then the winner from that goes to represent Jamaica. The last winner was Mount Pleasant, and they did very well. Right? A lot of people might mention that Mount Pleasant team, before they went there to compete, they went to the Dallas Cup and they got thrashed. However, when they went there, you know, Dallas Cup is an under 17 tournament, and they went there with 13-year-olds. There is no 13-year-old team in the world that can go to an under 17 tournament and dominate. It's impossible.
You got it for experience.
Right. So when they played against a Vancouver Whitecaps that gave them 6-love at the under 17 level, then when they come up against another Vancouver Whitecaps of the same age, they turn it and give them 5-1. What does that tell you? You understand? Yeah. So it must be, so, you know, as I said, it makes sense for but it's the JFF has to mandate this. The JFF has to mandate that at least, even if they can't do it at all club levels, at least for the tier 1 and tier 2, that they must have like the under 13 teams. That makes sense. At least the very minimum, they should have that. So that if we go, let me tell you what I love to see in the future, you know. I would love to see in the future where I can go, back in the days, they used to have the under 21 opening matches for the Premier League, right? One of the things with it though, you know, was that some of the teams use some very young players, some use the older players, some, you know, it varied. But what I want to see is maybe even an under 18 league then, not under 20. Because once you pass 19, so on, it must be going into your Premier League team. But an under 18, that definitely targets the players that have just, would have been either getting ready to leave Manning Cup or have just left Manning Cup. You understand? So you need to have some sort of league like that, even among the Premier League teams. And then the next round of teams. You know, because that's the only way you're going to really help to develop the football. Because if you don't get it developed at the younger age, it makes no sense.
True, it makes no sense. So I believe that, you know, whenever, if they can do that for the under 17 and the under 20, it will take the burden of the schoolboy league. So people will stop compare, stop put schoolboy in the ISA to develop, or the schools to develop athletes. It will morely go towards clubs now. You understand me? And that is the problem I see, because there are no leagues for under 17 players and under 20 players. So hence all the focus is on school. Once that is there and there's a national league and those teams can go overseas to represent Jamaica in leagues, then you will see a big shift and a big difference in our football. Next question, though, Paul. Okay, continue.
Question, Ancina, Mr. Maxwell. How happy are you with the interim, not solely based in Jamaica status of head coach Hall? Is it a halfway house state of affairs? You want to go first? I am going to go.
Well, we just want to see what is going to happen. I won't really, make any comment. I don't want to live on Oak Road. So
okay, let me tell you. Personally, look here. I don't know. A lot of people don't remember when John Barnes was made coach, and he, to be honest, by his record, he has his actual record. He had the best record of all local coaches. He never lost. Right? And he was interested in doing something similar to what Paul Hall wanted to do, was take up a managerial position and come down at certain periods. It was rejected. Okay. Because look at the situation now in 2022. Having a local-based coach, right?
Right.
Okay. How is that? He's not the technical director now, So he's not going to be, his job, is to coach the national senior team, not the national under-20 team or whatever. His job is to coach the national senior team. Okay? The majority of the national senior team comes from where right now? No care how you want to look at it. It comes from overseas, whether USA, England, Europe, just call it Europe on a whole. Right? Okay. Right. That is one of the facts of the matter. So no care how you want to look at it. That's where the bulk of the team comes in. So him being based here or being based abroad is, as far as I see, a non-issue right now. Because of how communication is right now, you definitely don't need to have him based here. I do have a problem with it. Because one of the problems we have had was that we have a local coach, and even at that stage, you have had that local coach having to ask other coaches who is the better, say, centre-half that can be recommended to come into the national team. And that is something that I saw happen personally, and I had an issue with it in a way. It benefited my club, yes, but I scratched my head and I wondered, so isn't the local coach watching the league? He does sometimes, but what I noticed a lot of times that used to happen was that when players come into the league, it seemed like it's only players from the western end of the island. I'm saying it looked like it only watch matches down there. That's what, but look here, to be honest, at this stage, I am for having an overseas coach, because any local coach that you're going to have an inherent bias. And I don't believe in that. I believe in players getting their due for performance alone. It don't matter which club they are with or anything like that. No farmer quota system, whether local or overseas. Just the best players that can fit into whatever the coach wants. That's what you need to have. So Paul Hall being there, personally, if I had a vote on it, I would vote to extend this thing at least for the year to see what he can do. Because let me tell you something. A lot of people have mentioned that, this team that was picked the other day, Paul Hall didn't pick it. Paul Hall, all the local coaches have a final say in who they work with. Paul Hall made his choices also. It's 3 people that were in the meeting. And people may need to remember, is that you don't have to be in Jamaica here to watch the matches. Every single Premier League was people can get it. Right?
In Europe and North America.
Yes. So and I can tell you this too. When Paul Hall was appointed as assistant coach, the first thing he made it clear that he's going to be watching the local league. He made it known. So even in that meeting, I can tell you, with I think the head of the what is it again? The technical not what is it? Try his name. Anyway, Wendell Downsell and Meron Garden, right? They were there. They could give him advice and so on, but he knew some of the players.
Right.
So they could tell him to the players, the younger players and so on, but he knew a number of the players already. You understand? Because some of them were also into the team and he has seen them. So one of the things is that we have always struggled, not so much with the local players being identified, but we have struggled with getting the young players from England identified at a young age, or the young players from USA. By the way, I say this all the time. I hear people talk about young players from England or even Sweden and so on. How many young players have we gotten? I think we have a bigger diaspora in the United States. And I do not, United States and Canada combined compared to what we have in England. I'm almost 100% sure. But we don't see the same amount of players from USA and Canada being asked to come into the national team. How come?
Good question. Good question.
I've always thought about it. You don't have it happening. You have
the quality is not good.
No. The Canadian team, I think, has about 4 players there, right? That are eligible for Jamaica that were born there. You have players in USA, but the problem is that the only time that some of these players look for Jamaica is when they realize them can't make the USA team.
True.
Right? Can't make it.
No, but you have a player that plays for USA,
What's that?
We have a player play for USA who usually play for youth teams in Jamaica.
I know. And when they come to play for the youth teams, is when them don't get on the US national youth team. That has happened. I have seen that happen, with players that don't make the USA team. Or sometimes you hear the parents come and say, "Oh, we never want to play for USA." Come on. Look here. The internet makes everything small now. So we can see when the players are cut from the US team and that they're looking somewhere other option. So you use Jamaica. You understand? It happens. It's the only time I've seen somebody, and this is not football related, is Brianna Williams that chose Jamaica when she was at the top. You really don't see anybody doing that. And I have to give lift a hats after that young lady. But you
I have
really...
a question on the screen. I want to read. Unseen Sports, why is Bowser not committed? His team don't play until the end of February. I think so. He's local aid committed. Big up top 10, big up everybody in the comment section. Yeah, so in the comments, people, remember to like, subscribe, and share to Unseen Sports. We see sports from a different angle. Big up Paul Maxwell also. Yeah, Paul, go ahead, can answer the question now.
Okay, hold on there. Let me just deal with something. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. But you're stuck though.
Oh.
Somebody calling your phone.
Yeah, hold on.
All right. Yes, see. So, top 10, big up yourself. Journey Weather, big up yourself if you're here, see me. Everybody, big up. Soon finish the live next, next 8 minutes or 10 minutes, and we finish. But for me, CC, I think he's the best person to answer that. For me, he's not missing. He's not missing. I think we have Andre Gray, we have Bowser, not Bowser. We have Mike Antonio. We have Corey Burke. We have players in the JPL who can come and put in a shift. He's not missing for me, so not really. Not an important topic for me to talk about. Yeah. We're trying to get back Paul, but look like Paul is busy. Yeah, we have things to do and stuff like that. Basic fundamentals. Yeah, people. So, yeah, man, the JPL Yeah, but the JPL is going to start Sunday. They are trying to start it down by Draxall. That's Mount Pleasant home field. But they are seeking approval by the government. A lot of things to expect in the JPL. All right, Paul is back, people. Paul is back. Yes.
Yeah, man, I'm back. Okay. Okay, I had said 10 minutes, but I can extend it. Anyway, let me just the Bowser issue. Look here. I can't say whether or not he's committed or not. What I can say, the facts are that he has there's some match on the 27th, but nothing until the end of February. Right? Nothing until the end of February. To me, it does not look good. Okay? This is, look here. When he needed the games to highlight himself and so on, he was available. Right? Now that he has the big transfer, it seems like the priority is the club.
What I call big transfer?
What's that?
What I call big transfer?
The move that he made to Spartak.
I think big transfer is like Leon Bailey transfer. That's up.
No. You have to look at where he's the money that he made. Hold on. Legit, right now, Bowser is a millionaire easily, in Jamaica,
That's true.
By several times over. So the last transfer, he has done very well for himself. His agent has done very well for himself also. So that's basically, they having done well in the Belgian league and also doing well in the World Cup qualifiers against opposition such as USA, etc., has highlighted him, and I'm sure it made it easier for him to get that deal with Spartak Moscow. Let's not look at past that. But at this stage, we're not seeing him being available. Which, to be honest, for me, it just, I have to say it, the commitment thing, it doesn't look good. It does not look good to me personally. I know the youngster, and I've seen him grow. But after it happens to some people, after a certain time, they at some stage feel like they have outgrown certain things. I don't know. Maybe him feel him reach. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Look at Leon Bailey. Bigger move. Big move. I'm making big move when he was a small person, right? And his dream was to play for Jamaica and New
That's what most footballers want. They want to play for their country.
But you have to understand the professionalism was embedded into Leon Bailey from a younger, tender age.
Very young age.
The biggest difference. Now,
hats off to Mr. Butler for that. I can tell you.
Right. So this is the problem, and I said it on a live last night, the same live I am from Sport, that the clubs need to teach their players how to speak properly from a younger age. So when them grow up into the club, they can do interviews and stuff like that. Now, if you want to make the brand of JPL a better brand, and you're talking to potential sponsors, right? They want to know what they are spending their money on. So they want to interview. You remember a commercial with Tuffy Anderson?
I remember one. Yes.
Yes, and he could not say anything in the commercial.
I remember.
I was like,
Look here.
That's embarrassing.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you something. To be honest, we have gotten a lot more creative because there's a commercial that's running, I won't say, with a sports person. And I can tell you, it was very well doctored because you can hear that they basically put the clips together, because the person wasn't that smooth at, relating. And to be honest, for me, when I watch any other sport, who they're going to interview? They're going to interview the coaches, yes, but they interview who people. Hold on. When you go to watch a match, you go for watch the coach, or you go for watch the players.
Players, the product.
So I have said this time and time, at my club, I said, look here, who you need for highlight? I don't want to see no coach because I'm not really see out on the field. Who I go for watch It's the players. But a lot of times, why we are afraid to put them there, because a lot of them, we have not trained them to be able to express
You're
themselves
right. They can't
properly.
pronounce their name good.
Right. So, some of them that come through the high school system and so on can, help themselves quite well and so on and so forth. But that is one of the aspects when I said professionalism is not just about kicking a ball. It's about the whole package,
Yeah, the
being
whole
able
package.
to express yourself and that sort of thing. Because I remember when we had gone to Europe the first time, you had an agent that was there plus another person. And I remember at one stage they called all the players individually into a room to speak to them, just to speak to them, to get an idea of where they are. And when the players came back, they said, they asked them some basic questions, and we realized what they wanted to find out, how they could express themselves, that sort of thing, and so on. You understand? So a lot of times we carry the youngsters through the basic thing at football, but we don't say, well, okay, when that is finished, we go through a thing and say, okay. And by the way, you don't have to do this with every single player. There are certain players that you want to make sure. So if you can't have the time to do this, you can target some who you know that, okay, more than likely, this youngster might be doing an interview or so on. So you try to help them around with that. You understand? So this is something very key. And these youngsters need to know it's something that they might be nervous, but there are ways to train them to just make them speak slowly and just.
It's not hard, Paul Maxwell, because when I was down by Phoenix, right, because I used to carry players there when I was coaching at primary school, and the Craig Butler sister always have a session with them where they have to be pronouncing their name properly. They have to, talk properly. Don't use, a lot of space fillers. All those stuff. Teaching them how to talk properly. Be confident. Look on the camera. Talk. Stuff like that. Some simple words to say when you're talking. Some football terms. What the coach. Simple stuff. But some of these coaches, they don't see it important, and also the schools don't see it important. Remember when somebody go, all right, even in the schoolboy league, you have some players, and they go over there, some language. Nothing is wrong to use a dialect, all right, the patois dialect, but you have some key terms that you should and pronouncing your name properly and stuff like that. Another thing, the dress code for players. I'm not saying we should copy the England dress code, but I mean, when the package driving up to the stadium, players coming off the bus, they must be properly dressed. Coming into the, those are the things that some of these overseas clubs looking at, how they can market coming off the bus, in proper gears, either jacket suit or some, long sleeve shirt, tie, and stuff like that. I think that will sell the JPL better. Some people may say it's not important, but I see it as something that a businessman would spending money and say, all right, I see Cavaliers going into a stadium well properly dressed, long sleeve, good shoes, and they look good going into the stadium, and then the coach properly dressed and give his speech when the match is finished. So I think that is important for clubs, and a holistic development for them to garner money. Simple.
Unseen, let me tell you one thing I need you to do, especially for this upcoming Premier League season. You see, every club in the Premier League, I want you to try to target 4 players that you want to highlight through the season.
I started already.
Okay.
I interviewed King.
It's to 4 of them. Because look here, the Premier League can only grow when we have the stars in there. They have the players with the star quality that carry that little bit of extra to the team that people want to see. I can say that I remember I saw a moment in a match. I have to talk about Cavalier because I'm associated with them, where Ronaldo Webster did something after scoring a goal. And his whole demeanor, the swag, the thing, it just said, I had to go to him and say, hey, youngster, keep it up. That is what people want to see. You understand? Look here,
Right.
a lot of people say, oh yeah, man, he must be humble, so and so. Hey, Michael Jordan, when him go up and put on and do him slam dunk, that's what people want to see. They want to see that.
Usain Bolt with him.
Oh my God, that, look here.
Seller.
What do you mean? People want to see that. That's why one of the difference, you know. Yes, as you mentioned, Usain Bolt. Try remember, we had a world record holder before, you know, with Asafa. I don't want to make it Asafa feel bad, but the humble thing, it make him nice. The ladies love it. But overall, he never transfer that to everybody that they say, yo, you know?
Entertainment package.
The entertainment package is not about going out there and just running and finish.
It's limited.
It's a couple of seconds after when you score the goal and thing. You understand? I saw the same youngster Webster after he scored the goal, dropped his knees and put up. I said, this could have just put anywhere international and thing there. It added something. You understand? The players, you need to have them with that confidence. You understand? Same to Leon Bill, these are things. Yeah, you understand? When you say, look here, when you say Michael Antonio, they talk about, after just go Jamaica wise in whatever aspect, you know. When he scores his goal and so, you know, one of the things that you notice they talk about when him get the cardboard cut out himself when he became the leading scorer for him club and him go and celebrate with him, talk about him making the slide and thing. You know, the celebration. Look here, people want stars. That's the only way your league go and sell. So a lot of time, me no want to know about the coach. Me no go on the match watch the coach. Me want to know about the player them. You understand? And I want to see the players with some spice, something. So I want, look here, that's one of the things the YouTubers need to do. You need to make some stars in this competition here. So even with this schoolboy football, a lot of time people say, oh, we don't want them to get, look here, we want to make stars. But there are ways to balance it, but you have to have that type of thing.
Sir Paul, the confidentiality of these clubs, I don't know. They don't want to, you know, they stop players from doing this, especially even schools, coaches. They don't want you to talk about their team because other teams are going to know about them, their secrets, their players. Foolishness. You know, no matter how much you watch a team train or play, if a team don't come out on the day to play and win, you won't win.
Dre, anyway, the sports, that's going to be, you're going to give a preview of the players that are there and that sort of thing. I want to know, because I must know if I must tune in. If it's not going to give me some insight in what going to be at Harborview for me to want to watch, you know, I need to know. I hope you have all of those things in there.
So there are 12 teams in the Premier League, Paul, right? Right now we should have a YouTube, something on YouTube showing all the different, you know, players in the squad, who to look out for, who is this type of players from each squad, right? We don't have that.
Players to watch.
We don't have like who transfer from this club for how much money, like, you know, if you write the exact amount of money, like 4 million, 5 million for this player, people can say, wow, that's so much money in the Premier League, I'm gonna watch it. Simple, just that alone.
You need to know. You understand? So make some interest there. You understand? So who to watch and so on, because there are players out there that go have the star quality. Make we know the little stats on them. Some of them coming from the Costa Cup, you know, so they don't get lost along the way. You understand? You need to know once you do this. You understand? It makes a difference. I want to know who are the players, because last year when this guy here reached back over by Waterhouse, what's his name again? Scara. Not remember his correct name right now, you know. Yeah, man. His nickname was Scara. He played for St. College, man. No. Oh gosh, name slipping me. Anyway, I didn't know until after a while that he was playing. And I said, but this is something that the Premier League should highlight. That say, okay, hey, former star so-and-so is back. And, you know, playing now for Waterhouse, blah, 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 blah. You know, I would want to know. I want to see him. As a player that I like watching.
We should have some billboard with players on it in the Premier League.
Have little things like that. Give me something or some players that people want to see. Because there are stars here from a lot of them, you know, had star brand quality from youth level, you know.
True.
Like I can say at Cavalier, you have a Jadine White. That was a big name there. You understand? Right? Who can the bum? You know, you have the Busy Atkinson. The Harborview now, You can't say, how have you haven't look here.
Zimini is a brand right now, yeah.
Zimini is more want to know about
big
that.
Big money thing now in Jamaica. You want to know about it.
Look here. Start to not know you need to make that youth into a star. You understand? You need to do it, build him. Because people will want to go and watch Zimini's. You understand? Those are the things we want to see. So, as I say, all of the clubs, and as I say, all of the YouTubers, once the Premier League starts, we need to see the same enthusiasm that you put on the EPL and the various leagues. Do the same thing with local ones here. Make we know the stars and so on. So that when we see, we can know, okay, this is the thing that's going on. If you have any little thing, you just like how we hear about, like probably okay, the issues within the teams, right? Because when you have issues within the teams abroad with some little problems, dressing room bust up with various players, you don't hear that here, right?
Right.
So that's one of the things that for me, hold on there.
Oh, somebody calling you. Yeah, so
yeah. That's one of the things that we need to improve on. You understand?
Right. We have 9 minutes, Sir Paul. I have 9 minutes to close the show.
What's that?
On the 2-hour mark. 9 minutes. I think
hold on, you're low. Hold on, I'm going to come out and rejoin here because volume is down.
No problem.
Okay?
No problem.
I'm going to join back in about 30 seconds.
All right, no problem. Yes, people. So, yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems the JPL is facing. The professionalism is not up. I think the package need to, just the bus driving up from down the road coming up and the camera is looking at them. When they come out of the bus, they are properly dressed, coming out with their headset on or something like that, focus on the game, coming up to the camera. Some stuff like that will make business people say, yeah, Cavaliers look like and I can invest I can send some money over there because I'm going to get a return. These players can talk properly. They can be a brand manager from a company, stuff like that. You understand me? They dress properly on the road. They're not in certain cliques. They are professionals. They want to become that person in the future. They want to be a millionaire. And to be a millionaire, you have to be professional. You have to be professional to be a millionaire. In football, right? In football, you have to be professional to be a millionaire, and it's basically that way you have to go. And I just think that is the way for the clubs to go, to get these youngsters from a tender age, have that class where they teach the youngsters to speak properly, language properly, speak properly, write, communicate. I think some of these players, that's where they fall short on follow instruction. Whenever when you can't speak good, you don't follow instructions.
Reasoning ability, comprehension.
And comprehension. And that is all right. Because I want to develop a sports lab, Sir Maxwell. This is one of my dreams, right? So I went and I give the idea to a friend of mine, an investor. He has the money to buy the equipment and stuff. So I said to him, I want to develop a sports lab. He said, what will you test in the sports lab? I said, technicality, football technicality and physicality, goalkeeper and stuff like that. So he said, what is the equipment? I said, a video camera like what Phoenix have there to test, to record the games and give analysis and stuff like that. I said, GPS monitors, heart rate monitor and stuff like that. I said, equipment for goalkeepers and all those stuff. So I said, what are the tests? No, the physical tests. I said, you have the yo-yo, you have the beep test, you have the push-up, all those different tests that you can do to test the strength and anaerobic and aerobic, energy system in the body. So I'm writing down everything, and in a week time, I get a journal with all different tests from this guy, write down, all technical tests that can be done to test persons, juggling, controlling, passing, everything right down. And he went to the bank, right? And the bank approved him $3 million to buy all these equipments. But they did not give him the money because of the COVID. They wanted to, football to fully restart it before they.
Okay.
Because they want back the return. Understand me?
Makes sense.
In the future, people, you will see unseen sports, going around testing schools, clubs, and those people, getting them ready. Because I think Nelson do it. Nelson and a guy down by Excelsior, they have a company where they go around and test schools.
Yeah, I know. I think
you know about it, right?
Track and field, though.
Yeah, he's in track and field, but Nelson do it for footballers.
Okay.
He's a former national fitness coach. He's at JC. You know him, man?
Yeah, man, I know what you're talking.
Right. So he came to Charlie Mount when I was there. The year that win Ben Francis. He carries heart rate monitor, and he was testing the players and stuff like that. So that's where I found out that this system can really help you in terms of winning a championship. Because if it wasn't him, we'll know that one of our players that play wing back have an anxiety problem based on the device, right? And a whole heap of thing, give you the power input for players, maximum power, a lot of stuff that a lot of coaches don't know.
What we hear, I don't remember who it was that mentioned about doing a thing always. Okay, there are certain basic things, that you're going to have to learn that they do abroad, because we're not reach nowhere where you come to develop with football, You might can say with track and field, we are at a certain level where we can, but we have a lot to learn. We're just getting players really CONCACAF licensing to understand a lot of things. Because I can tell you, I know I've heard when I saw the thing start first, a lot of the coaches, there were things that they didn't know about that, that they learned. Because I remember I had a team at the JFF at the time when they were doing the testing of the coaches, right? And I remember there were some drills that I saw them do. That there was one particular drill that I never saw it done before. And when I watched the drill, I said, but hold on there. I've never seen this done before. I think the closest thing to I said doing something like that was when I think the Brazilians were here en masse, when Simões was here, Montes, all of them. And they had I don't know what it was. They had some sort of one-day thing camp with a whole heap of different youngsters over at GC Foster.
Mm.
So, and then I said, but hold on. These are things that, to be honest, once our coaches are trained and they are exposed and they start to read, because the difference, compared to things that we have in the past, you just basically show up and you get a certificate. No, you had to actually pass exams. So you had prominent coaches, failing,
Right.
Even some prominent coaches failing and have to be resitting and that sort of thing. Just to show you where the thing is going.
I say it for go.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of time people don't realize, you don't have to be a great player to be an excellent coach. A lot of times you hear some people will tell you that, oh, I, was a good player up to age 20 or whatever. I got an injury and then I started the coaching. And normally you find that sometimes those are the players that learn a lot more because they have more time to read. So they learn about the game of football a lot more. And they look at it differently. Because when they're basically playing, they don't really have time. And when sometimes you finish the game in your late 30s and so on, you're not going to really take that much time to study. You're just going to go off instinct and got what you know.
True.
So, I can't even say Miguel Coley, I think, is one of that new breed. You understand?
Very smart.
Marcel
Gale too.
What's that?
Marcel Gale is in there too.
Yes. You understand? Out of this new breed that they're going to read a lot more. They learn a lot more. They're bringing a new thing to the table. You understand?
What do you think about Ferguson?
Ferguson, that's still enough. Still. Hey, let me tell you, every coach I will know I will cuss them out and tell them, because for me, personally, a lot of people I tell that even Mr. Speed mentioned with the idea, you know, we were discussing a particular coach, and him look at me and say, Maxwell, look here now, get real. The quality that you carry and give any coach, if them can't win with that, them not ready at all. You understand?
True.
So a lot of times, sometimes I go to some coach and I say, boy, you're not ready yet, and this and that and that. You know, but so for me to give a coach a certain amount of rating, you see certain things where they start to think out the game. Because the person, my mentor, that brought me into football and taught me everything I basically know about identifying talent in players, is a great David Wagahunt. He's also
a big man.
Let me tell you, he's the same person who is a godfather, more or less, for my so-called nemesis, Craig Butler. Both of us come out at the same time. We have the same ideas, youth development. Because David Hunt taught us, because he was ahead of his time. Because I can tell you, he did courses abroad when these
Netherlands. He went to Netherlands.
Went to Netherlands.
Right.
He went to Argentina. He learned a lot.
Mr. Sims said me the story. He said, Waga tell him to go Dutch, Netherlands, and come back. And he come run Jamaica football. I remember when he come and him start coach Calabar, he just win.
That wasn't, hold on. You never know. I'll tell you that story. I know the story more than even Mr. Sims. Yeah? Because Mr. Sims rejoined after a certain time. I was there when he came back after they doing the course there. And the idea when we met on his front thing there, veranda, and he said he had a plan to carry Medieval back, because by this time he saw the type of players that I was identifying and I was learning from him. And he told me that basically, look here, the way to go, we can develop the talent here locally, and we can do it at the club, but we have to nurture the talent, and by a certain time, we won't have to buy any talent. To be honest, things didn't go as they were to. He died and so on. I ended up at Cavalier. But when Cavalier won the other day, I tell people that, and people that were at Medieval knows that whatever happened at Cavalier is around a long time. But they know that the 8 players that came up through that youth system were basically almost a representation of what David Hunt was wanted to have done at Medhaven. And it's the same philosophy that I go with. That's why I push with youth football like that, because I believe that we have the talent here. Because even before Cavalier going away and doing well, Medhaven used to go away and do well internationally. So I've seen it. So when I come and say, look here, we can challenge that so and so, I just didn't know how well we could do in Europe. But now that having to gone to Europe, I can say that there is no British-born, Spanish-born player that is going to be so much ahead of any of them that are developed here. It's just that they get a lot more professionalism enhanced.
It's just that is the biggest problem.
What's that?
Our players not learning the professional side of football.
That's the thing.
Once they get that side, they will make it. Whether they go on trials or they go straight into a club, they will make it. Once they get the professionalism side there, they will make it. A lot of things are different from football. If you can cook for yourself, drive, wash your clothes, speak properly, dress properly, communicate. Those stuff are not there into our players. Once we can teach our players that from a younger age coming up, I interview King the other day. You know King is going to go places. You watch the interview with King?
I saw the interview, but what you telling me now, there are inquiries.
That's what I'm saying to you, that I start the process already interviewing the youngsters from the JPL. Right? I started already. I interviewed King, I interviewed Marlon Martin, I see them from the Junglist team, that's Arnett Gardens. I supposed to interview Price, who was at Harborview. Now he's going to keep for Arnett soon. So I started the work, I started to link them up.
That's what we want to see.
Put it hard to get them. They're not sending like they want to get interviewed neither. They're not like they don't want to come on the spotlight neither.
Let me tell you something unseen. What you need to do is make a linkage with the club. If you're going to forget to talk to the youngsters straight, some of them, because it's a little bit of difficulty with some of them getting them out.
Right.
And sometimes the clubs, they send who they want to send. They're not sending the players that the people want to hear from. You
Yes.
understand? I tell you, a lot of clubs don't realize that by sending them to make them go on these little YouTube things, it helps them when they have to do the bigger interview, get them out of their nerves. So when the first time that a camera is pushed into their face, it's not something new.
Not something new, and it's more, it's comfortable to, you know, we're doing it like this, you're sitting down, you know,
right,
facing the camera. It's easy and comfortable. So when you do this now, you say,
it takes away the nerves.
You said to yourself, say, Jano, it was this easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how, just be yourself. Answer the question correctly.
I said Dre put up that he's going to the full team, goalkeepers, strikers, and coaches at Harborview.
Right.
Okay, that sounds good. So we get a little preview on what they're going to roll out then.
This is what I think the JPL committee should do. That, you know, the clubs must send this information to the press, whether YouTubers or use their social media platform, you know, and those stuff.
Clubs need to do it, but they need to also have a base where if I go, I can look and I can say, okay, let me see what Cavalier have in store this year. So I can see, you don't have to tell me exactly what you're going to do, but I can say, okay, these are the players to look forward to. And don't just tell me some names. I want to see some little clips of the other guys and so on. You know, because look here, like it or not, after about the first 2 rounds, everybody know what basically happened. You understand? So it don't make any difference. There's nothing to be gained.
It don't make no sense. You're hiding and living like.
Overseas, you go, man, you go and a player is there. You can see, you know.
You watch transition on YouTube easy.
I need to see that. So I want to know if there are any youngsters. I heard a little rumor well, it's not a rumor. I spoke to a coach on it, that there's a certain player from KC that a lot of people liking might be going there to Harborview. I don't know if he was signed from Santos, but I want to know these things, you know. So these are things I want to find out about, so I can know, yeah, this team is a team I'm going to want to watch. It's an interest, because this is like it or not, you know. Watch overseas football, you know. But
yeah, I love Jamaica. I love my local thing.
They're a local league, man. I want to watch a local league, because I can't support my national team. And then, like it or not, you won't have any Jamaican team consisted of pure Englishmen. You're not got it.
No,
because you're going to have a blend. And the blend is, even if, as you're saying, you know, you might not have what happens in with a lot of local base, but the local base, Shaman Nicholson grew up at Jamaica and play at Jamaica and them sort of thing. You understand? Right. Same thing. Someone know, see them, and so someone can know where them coming from. You know?
Right.
But who knows? Maybe depending on how this round of qualifier goes, we might be seeing a number of Premier League players in the last round of qualifiers.
True.
If it doesn't go according to how everybody hopes, we might be seeing a very heavy local based squad at that time. So who knows? It might be rebuilding again. But
I think, for me though, Paul, I think a lot of players, you know, people might say, you know, it's bias, or you know, that Cavalier players are in the national team and so, but you know, when I really, you know, like interview these players and talk to them, you see a difference. You see somebody that, you know, wants to make it in football. When I interview King, he's humble, he's hardworking, and he said that the formula, he wants to go far in his career, and he's just putting the work.
Never miss a training. Never. A lot of people don't know, you know. I don't look here. King lives in Honetgans, you know. He lives in walking distance of the stadium, you know.
Yeah.
And this youngster basically makes sure him come a Cavalier because him see what can happen. But he never misses that training to come from so far. Right? That's one of the key things about him. And I tell you about professionalism, you know, where make a difference with some players. This youngster, with that distance, he makes sure to come to training. Never miss a training day. And it shows when you look at it. You understand? Yeah. But that aspect you mentioned, I hear everybody keep talking how many Cavalier players in there. Think about it, you know. 3 of them were always in the pool there about. JD White has always been in the pool, you know.
Right, that's one of the best young keepers.
People were balling on other radio stations, and so I beat up Tapper. Why him don't pick Topi there and this? So Topi is always a thereabouts. Richard King was the last one recently picked, but he was always in the mix.
And he deserved his chance because he was the best centre back. I rate him over Topi.
Because Topi coming off of bad weight problem and all that sort of thing. But I can tell you, I'm looking for the Peru game. But apart from those three, right, Marshall and Paris, they're overseas already. And these are guys who are staples at the youth levels, you know. If you look at Jardine, Fletcher, and all the rest of them, you know, these guys were guys in the various youth teams that have done well, because what is happening there, you know, is that they're also looking at, just in case we have a situation at the last minute, because listen now, it's 2 weeks before the international match, you know. You have to be note these clubs have to say, yes, these players are coming, you know. So when a player pull out a week before, which might happen, you cannot replace them with an international player, you know. You're going to have to find from the local pool. So you need to know who from this local pool will be able to come in at the last minute.
Right.
One of the things. Plus, a lot of people don't realize, you know, that, look here, over the years, Cavalier has dominated under 13 up to under 17, everything, you know. So when they have been doing this, it's just a transition from what they've been doing at youth level. So it's just a matter of time, because I've talked to coaches that say, boy, Mr. Maxwell, you dominate and you full up the youth team, them, and you win all of the local competition. But, you know, I seen a team, and I keep telling them, say, look here, how can they, because most of my guys are still 16, 15, 17. Them not reach here yet. Watch when them start reach 20, 21 and that age. Watch what will happen, because we've been developing them from that stage. So it's just a matter, it's, you know, the same thing normally happen with Portmore. The same thing normally happen with Harborview. And not new. Once you have, everything goes in stages, you know. So it's just that at this stage, you might have a little turn, because that Cavalier team that won, you know, you have to look at it, you know, it's literally an under 21 team. So all of those players basically moving up into the Jamaica team over a period. It's just a matter of time how many of them go full professional and they maintain their place. Because Dwayne Atkinson, you know, is actually the only new player in there. And a lot of people. What's that? Aquesta Chung. Yes. Yes. You know, and these are two players that a lot of people were balling for. And coincidentally, you know, these are two of the players that came out of one of the first international tournament that two Jamaican teams went to in Cayman some years ago, 2016. And we, you know, so look here. Everything is in a matter of, you know, circles that everything comes back around. So we're seeing something now that the work was put in. So we'll see something after a while. I'm expecting to see something like that with Harborview again, because Harborview has invested in the young players. And it's going to be coming as watch Ziminese.
It's only going to be better for Jamaica and a holistic development. It was better for Jamaica. And I see Veer also. Veer, you know,
yes,
I can tell that Veer have some. Remember that player I wanted to send to you is done by Veer.
Okay. Look here. The more teams for me, I want as much players to get into the Premier League as possible. I do not want to be going out for watching a 34-year-old. You understand? Yeah. I personally, I talk to, because I have a lot of players that used to be associated with me at Medieval. I have left Medieval for so many years now. I don't really want to go to see no player that used to play with me from Medieval playing that key role now in any of them teams. Because all of these players are near 29, 30 now, at least. So, you understand? I need fresh players. We need some freshness in the league. You understand? We need to see that, because that's the way forward. You understand?
Right. I'm going to interview him, you know, that young. I think his ability, he can be in the under 17 team. Matthew Ellis is done by Veer now, play for Charlton. Quality player. Well,
under 17 team, the only thing with the under 17 team now, you know, those are the players that were 15 last year, 15 last year. I'm going to be 16 this year.
Yeah, man, you can play under 16. Under 16.
No, under 16. No. I don't remember the year, but is he 16? Not thing there, no. Not under 16 because the school. A lot of people get the school league, and they.
When is the competition?
Huh? No, it's not in the competition. No, hold on. No, let me help you out here now. Those players would have to have been. Oh gosh, what's the cutoff here now? Last year was it 2000 and wow.
All right, put it this way: he was called up to represent Jamaica for the under 15, but didn't have a passport.
Well, he's eligible.
Right. Yeah.
He's definitely eligible, which is good.
That's the next thing, you know. We have a big debate on that, but we're gonna go on it on different video. The passport issue with these youngsters, JPL is not helping them. You know, putting the whole responsibility on the parents, which they have a point, but I think on a Jamaica standpoint,
it's not just the passport, you know. Sometimes the birth paper, because I can tell you, you know. Let me tell you, there's a situation, you know, where sometimes when the birth paper come, you have little errors on it, right? Because let me tell you something. When okay, let me help you out with it. Sometimes the birth paper, the mother's name, if the mother's name is spelled incorrectly, you know, you have to send that youngster can't get a passport. True. Right?
True.
Right? If the father name not on it, him can't go look about it. You understand? So that's another thing. Father, you have to get your name on it if you feel say why your son a ball and you need them little things there. Because little things like those, if you have errors like those, that the mother name being spelled wrong, and then she present her national ID with a different, almost different name because of the spelling, he cannot get that. It's going to be a problem. You understand? So there are little errors that have to be made, and sometimes these errors come by the birth paper. Sometimes the birth paper old like when dog a tear and play with it, and it can't use, and them have to go try get the birth paper and things. So there are other issues. Sometimes it's tampered with. I've seen issues where youngsters going in the national team, then building the national team around the player, and then when they look, there's a little error that the school never see with a little thing being a little change there and thing, and then now youngster can't play because the age find out to be wrong.
Big issue.
So as I say, it's not this passport thing. Is not as simple as that, because most times I can tell you, passport can get in a day. You understand? Because I know for a fact, you normally have people at JFF that normally expedite it and look about it, right? It can be done.
But they did not do it for the under 15. They did not do it for the under 15 players. Though.
Under 15, I can tell you that situation in particular, I was intimately involved in that. What happened now was that the notification, because of the COVID and everything, there was a little late notification. So they had to literally, when they heard about it like on the Sunday, and they had to send in a list of names by the Wednesday, right? So they had to contact some people. I was one of those people that they actually contacted to try to assist them at the time, right? Because they needed it to get names of players with passport. They didn't even have to have passport, because youngsters got into that team that didn't have passports on the Sunday, but by being notified, the people went up. Because the thing, you know, a lot of people don't realize, you know, is that it's not when the competition is being held, you know, but all of these competitions, you have a cutoff date, just like the Gold Cup and any CONCACAF CFU competition, even Manning Cup, you have a cutoff deadline that you have to present all necessary documents by. So you had to send in the passport number and those things for the player by the Wednesday. So when you look at it now, they had no under 15 team in training, not like that. They don't have an under 15 base.
That's why you didn't really reach anywhere.
So no, that's not why, you know. Why they didn't reach, they had a good squad. Because I can tell you, the squad that was picked, to be honest, you know, I would imagine at least 60% of that squad, if it was done another time, would be back. The problem was COVID. A lot of people don't know that the captain for the team, the guy that you saw captain in the team, was not the actual captain. The captain got COVID. As he went, he was found to have COVID.
Oh, okay.
And two other players, that were key players, a little youngster players in Phoenix and Wolmer's. He got knocked out to a number of them. They could not play. About 3 of them at least went out. And then as the thing went, COVID just kept knocking them down. And then now, based off of the fact that there was none of them were really playing any football, right? Apart from who was in training with the Manning Cup team under the radar. You understand? It was really, really hard for them to really have done as well as they did. But the quality of those players, I can tell you, right? There are a number of them that were definitely the best in the island. Because there's a particular youngster in that team there that was in our Premier League setup. That I know for a fact was one of, I won't say he's the best, but I know he's one of the best 15-year-olds in the island. He's a second generation Jamaica player too. His father was a big player for Jamaica. And he was on the starters for St. George's College the other day. I don't know. Adrian Reed Jr.
Who?
Adrian Reed Jr.
Adrian Reed Jr.
15 years old, just turned 15 by the way too. For St. George's. So he was 14, just turned 15 in after September. Show you how young he was. You understand? So this is one of the things a lot of people didn't realize, that the team didn't do well because, as I said, they weren't playing. Even for preparation, I think it's one small scrimmage that they got in. They had to be looking at the players in small spots. One set met in Kingston, one set met in I don't remember where again, in St. Catherine, and then it was a little ridiculous.
Over racing field.
Right. Yeah. So it to be honest, as I said, because of the COVID, it was really hard.
But you have to remember, say sometimes you get good players, but if you don't have 2 ingredients, which is training together, which builds cohesiveness, you won't make it. No matter how good the player is, you're not going to make it.
Fresh God. I said Fresh God post something here. Yeah. I'll have to see this. Fresh God. Something man that make me hear how this sounds very unusual. Humble and rebuilding, 2 mostly young youths up there. I only have a couple of veterans. When you say young youths, what are you talking about? 25-year-olds?
That's what they're talking about.
Young.
But my
is going to be coming out of the Manning Cup, Cup, whatever.
But Paul, look at this. Dumbline is right in Clarendon, where Clarendon teams, school teams are doing well. It's easy to get youngsters to, have a good scout there to use them in.
You don't have to get youngsters. When you hear Humberland signing a player, here somebody, a young player at 28, 29. Come on, man.
Career done. 34-year-old player.
That makes no sense. Come on, I want to hear Fresh God. Tell me who is no. Number
19-year-old.
23 players.
19, 20,
that's
and
the
21.
Young players that they have in there.
It looks so. 19, 20, and 21-year-old.
Oh, 19, 20. That would be, honestly, that would be refreshing. And I would love to see that. Because over the years, Humble Lion has gone as a place for players to go to get the retirement benefits. You understand? Yeah, man, it's true. Player go for get a nice big payday and just come out of the league after a while. Similar thing at what Mount Pleasant was doing at one stage. Because so many youngsters in the academy, and it's just since the British man came down that he starts to use them filtering into the thing.
That's what I'm telling you. The Jamaican, some of the Jamaican who win football, they don't understand it. They don't understand it on a managerial aspect. And if you don't have a good manager who controls the money, your club going nowhere.
So, Fresh God, if the players are 19, 20, and 21, I hope that these are players that they're going to start with. It'd be nice if you could give an idea what the starting team might look like. You understand? We'd love to hear that, man, because I find it hard to believe any other team you tell me about except Humble Lion.
They have one player, I remember his name right now, named Karim Brian Farmer, didn't he? Number 7 in the 2019 season. He's one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I know Karim Brian.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
But yeah, we have what? We have 5 minutes. I'm finishing 2 hours and 30 minutes. So we have 5 minutes left.
And I said I was going to give you 10 minutes.
Yeah, you see what football we get talking. So this is your task. This is your task, Paul. You need to get your players to, you know, I want to interview Ainsworth. So get that link up. Yeah, because he's an old soul name, you know, he's a big name in Jamaica right now. I'm gonna tell you, he's branded right now, you know.
Keep him on the radar as long as possible, man.
Huh?
We want to keep that one under the radar as long as
No,
possible.
man, you can't have them play there and you don't want him to get brand ambassador for Digicel by just doing an interview on Unseen Sport TV.
That people don't know, you know. He's been to Barcelona already, you know.
You see, we need to know these information. So you need to put him so we can promote
to Barcelona
and make a lot of persons come and watch.
In play against, you know, the big team Atlas in Mexico. That's a big
so
played against him already.
So Jamaica need to know why he's playing so good in the Premier League at a young age. So you need to get me that interview with him. Not only me, you know, I have my brothers there. And I am sure sports. Coaches this.
What we try to do is keep youngsters and Adrian Reed Jr., who I can tell you, if you're shocked with Ainsworth, Adrian Reed Jr., you're going to believe me, he is another thing to see. It's going to be big. He's big. It's going to be really, really big. Because none other than, I think, the national under-15 coach, when he saw him, he's the one who basically said it's the best 15-year-old he has ever seen. You understand?
Okay.
Anyway, next time you have a show, give me the link. If I can make it, I'll be here.
All right. Thank you very much. Remember to get the links. Get the link them for me. And the team.
Yeah, man. I'll do that, man. Just give me the shout, yeah?
Jaden White and everybody. All them. All top players, them what you want to send them.
Yeah, man. Well, we try to give you a little scoop. When anybody are going to make the little overseas move, we give you a scoop, man, yeah?
All right.
Okay, out.
Respect.
Yeah, man.
There you have it, people. Paul Maxwell, the leader, was on Unseen Sports TV giving information on the JPL. He's optimistic and he's awaiting this JPL season to see what will be unfold. Ricky Hill, the licensed coach. Donovan Ducky, a mainstay in the league. And no other than Cavaliers winning the championship. Let's see who will upset Cavaliers this year, people. Mr. Richards, thank you, Fresh God. Jane Weather, Ted Hines, thank you for tuning to Unseen Sports. Big up to all my brothers out there, Military Guna, Formula Sports, Coach's Desk, Sports Frenzy, Crystal Sports Guy, all those people out there. Big up yourself. Yeah, man. Unseen Sports. We see sports from a different angle. Richie, we're going away now. Sorry, you can text me on WhatsApp. We're going to talk. All right. I am out, people. Have a great day and try to be happy. Always do things to be happy. Don't let no one make you sad. All right. So that's my thought, people. I am out. We are here 2 hours and a half now. We're going to end the live. So big up. You guys who come on late can rewatch the video. Yeah, man. Big up IMAX TV also. Yeah, man. Ryan LFC. I don't want to forget your name. All my brothers who helped me, you know, to be where I'm. My name's man. Big up yourself anyway you're there. I know you got already. Yeah, man. It's a big bad pastor there. I'm out, people.